Right. Okay. All right. Hello, Mr. Usyk. Okay, starting off with skipping. Good. Gets you working on your footwork, which is good for boxing. Very important to shout. This is an easy day, apparently. He's working out with somebody, and they're taking too long, apparently. That's Daniel Lepin, who's a light heavyweight boxer. He can fly. That's the first one. Okay, so they've got. So you can see there they are studying the tape of their first fight, the Usyk-Dubois one, to see kind of when Dubois was able to land shots, what Usyk could maybe do differently to not be able to take those shots. And yeah, that's all good so far. This was what Usyk said. The assault bike is a great piece of cardio equipment. What his coach has just said there is they do a 16-week camp. I think he said they're 5 weeks out from the fight. So they're basically focusing on sparring and getting him to be able to generate that power. That medicine ball activity you saw is good, causing him to generate the force from quickly from that back foot, which is obviously very important for boxing, to be able to land your backhand, which are your big power shots in boxing. So that's good drill and good use of the camp time. Let's carry on. Again, similar thing being done here. Basically, to generate that power in those arms, to be able to generate a lot of force and power. Just doing a little bit of coaching this light heavyweight fella. Apparently just dancing. Good exercise, good inverted row technique. Feet elevated, we saw with Brock last week, that was very good. Generating good power as well. It's a great drill. Building up the endurance in those legs to be able to go the 12 rounds if necessary. Do footwork drills on this. That is going to be brutal, especially if you can get it going. You could do it for a good. You said it so you did the 3 minutes, and you did that for like 12 to 15 rounds. A great drill, build up that endurance in your front leg, constantly moving as well. You do great work for your fight, especially if you're able to weight it at some point. Maybe put a weighted vest on or some light dumbbells. Really good. Okay, deadlifting. Could go a little lower on that, but. Good transition for. Well, okay, that's great. Good exercise as well. Building up that shoulder power. Same there. Building up that shoulder power. Be able to generate them. There, generating that hip power. Which is something he doesn't like. Okay, so he's doing something just because it makes him strong. He doesn't actually like this one. What are we doing? Looks like a hamstring curl, like a fancy hamstring curl. A reverse back extension kind of thing. I've never seen that before. It's a wild machine. That is a good machine. Builds up our posterior chain again to be able to help you generate more power. Again, you're pretty good there. He seems to be coaching this guy as well, which is good. When you work out with someone and you're kind of coaching them, it makes you focus more on making sure your technique's really good, making sure that you're doing the exercise properly, because you're obviously demonstrating to them how to do it properly. As this fellow is a light heavyweight as well, they obviously won't be going heavy on the weight, so make sure the technique's down to get as much as they can from it, so that you can transition over into the world of boxing. It's all jolly good. He's working on his turning power there, which is good for boxing again. Get the swings and the hooks, and then swinging the hook on the front foot, and then any shot with your back leg as well. There's a lot of turning power in your hips. Kind of in the world of combat, your shoulders and your hips are the big. That's where all your power will come from. So you want to have the turning power to be able to generate a lot of force, a lot of speed as well, because then obviously more kinetic energy. Quicker you'll be able to move, more power. More kinetic energy will be able to transfer, and more chance of knocking them out. It's kind of butterbean strategy from the chap from the 90s. That I imagine is just to do endurance, kind of in his shoulder muscles and a little bit in the legs and hips, just so that he doesn't tire out during the rounds. If you can set it so you do that for 3 minutes, and do that for, if you can make it so your arms can last a full 12 rounds of a boxing fight without tiring, then you've got a great chance of being able to, in the later rounds especially, dominate your opponent, rack up the points, and maybe land a big knockout blow. So this is good for endurance. So again, if you're going for technique, a bit slower and controlled and what that, but for endurance, this is good work. Oh. These his children? I assume these are his children. Usyk's a smart guy, you know. He's it just basically said there that if you want to win in boxing, your technique matters more than your power, which is partially true. If you've got a sloppy technique, it doesn't matter how much power you can get. If you're throwing punches like that, you're not going to knock them out. If you've got really tight punches, you can dominate. Be able to slip the punches as well. You say as well, because his opponent's bigger, he just needs to focus more on the technique. He won't be able to generate as much power. With his techniques down, he can slip the punches, maybe land a couple of good body blows to really weaken his opponent. He'll lower his guard as well to try and protect his core, might leave his face exposed. We'll just tighten his core, again, get a bit of endurance in there, be able to take those body blows. Again, with shoulder endurance and kind of shoulder strength is what this move is for. Okay, so they're doing 50. quite sure what we're doing. Doing it for something. They're trying to do 50. Oh, we're doing abs, I think. Kind of reverse crunches. Good movement. He could straighten those legs, make them so they're straight throughout, and obviously he's coming up to a good height. You can learn them all the way back down to gently touch his kind of lower back to the bench and come all the way back up with those nice straight legs. That would be better, but again, solid movement, and this is a cool piece of equipment. I don't think I have one of these in my gym. That's poor worded. Get that little kick as well, really hitting the upper abs. The upper portion of your abs here is what this tends to work. Also, we'll just do endurance in your abs so you can take those body blows, which from heavyweights will be brutal. I didn't realise how funny he was, Usyk. Do some steady state cardio now. Looks like some walking on the kind of treadmill. Do some running over there. Good to build up a general base of cardio. So when you're in combat, you kind of want most of your cardio to be built actually doing your sport. So in boxing, a heavyweight fight will go for 12 rounds for the title. I think sometimes do up to 15 rounds. So you're able to do that with different opponents sparring, practicing getting your cardio up to be in a fight. That would obviously be better than, but this is perfectly fine if you've not got anyone available. This will get your cardio up, but obviously the idea would be that your cardio is built doing your actual sport, not just from running and walking and what have you. But there's nothing wrong with this. You build up some endurance in your legs and other muscles. But yeah, the ideal would be for whatever sport you're doing, your cardio would be built up in that sport. So for boxing, you do 12 to 15 rounds, 3 minutes each, different opponent each round, or you have like 3 guys you cycle through 5 times. They get a rest. They get these 2 rounds rest, or you don't get any rest. Well, you get the rest between the rounds, but you don't get any rest in. It's like a round off, basically. And so your cardio would be built up that way. Would be ideal. Let's carry on. These kids doing some rowing. Right, we seem to have finished. Now just doing some light bag work.